stuff.
I went to watch the Minions movie yesterday.
Did
And
you actually?
halfway through, my sister was like, "What time is it? How much longer is left in this movie? I'm bored."
Damn. All right, so this week we decided to go out and see Elvis because we thought it would just be.
I'm
You all
good.
right, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Always having asthma asthma attack over there while I'm trying to talk about Elvis. Do you mind? Anyways, we knew we had to watch Elvis this week, and I don't really need to give you a synopsis. It's just, it's a biopic, so it's kind of self-explanatory. But it is directed by Baz Luhrmann, who famously directed The Great Gatsby with Leo DiCaprio, and it is starring Austin Butler as Elvis, and of course Tom Hanks as his manager, Colonel Parker. So, like we said, we'll always go round tables. No spoilers right now. And what did y'all think about this film?
I really
Any
enjoyed it.
general statements, and then we'll go into like cons.
I thought that the main actor is goated with the sauce.
I thought that this film, I think it did a pretty good job portraying his life, for the
That's
most part, in general.
I ain't know nothing about Elvis. I ain't gonna pretend like I know anything about Elvis, but this movie was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I know everything about him because I don't, but I know the general, all the general stuff, and for all the general stuff, I thought it was pretty solid. All right, well then
really
we can just
enjoyed
get.
it. I think it was above par when it comes to like other documentaries, like in the same genre for like other people,
Above what?
like above the other movies.
Hmm.
I think. Okay, compared to like,
I give this one number 3.
Yeah, me
Right.
too. No, I give it.
I would put Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody both.
I
above
haven't
this
seen
one,
Rocket Man, so I can't.
Oh, I haven't
say
seen
that.
Rocket Man. Bohemian Rhapsody was really good though.
Yeah, I feel like Bohemian Rhapsody is probably like
I think that's my number 1
the
in
peak.
this genre.
But don't let that deteriorate you from this movie. Anyways, we'll go right into our cons.
I would like to use that to segue into my first con. One of the main reasons I can't put it above the other two is that this movie didn't really have many of his songs in it, like at all, which is kind of disappointing because you go after watching the other movies and hearing their soundtracks just be blasted and amazing, you don't get many of his original songs.
I feel like this movie was less about his on-stage performance and more about how he got there and just like his life in general.
I agree with that, but his onstage performances were just as important. Like they showed a
That is,
lot. They had a lot of
I
emphasis on
understand
the way
that
that
part,
he danced and sang.
that's true.
but I do just wish it had more of his music because you go in watching a movie about an artist and you figure you hear a little bit more than like 2 songs out of their like. You go watch a movie about one of the greatest rock and roll performers of all time, and you get like 2 original songs from him in the soundtrack, and that's
Well,
just kind of
and
sad.
even then, the other songs it showed were like 2 seconds. It was like little snippets.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just kind of like disappointing.
Yeah, I think the one that did big was "Love Me Tender," right? That played like every time as a love
Yeah.
ballad in the background. All right, Anthony.
That's fair. I didn't think about that before, but yeah, I really didn't.
That's why we have these discussions. The more you know.
My main thing, and we were just talking about this of how it shouldn't always be a con, and I know it was there was a reason for it to be this way, but it was just too long for me.
I agree.
It was 3 hours is a long time for a movie like this.
I think that there's tasteful ways to do a long movie, but this one just felt long. Like
Did.
when a movie feels long, that's whenever it's an issue. Like 3 hour long movies aren't bad, but whenever it feels long, that's when you're like, eh.
I feel like it really dragged in the second act. Like
I think so
really
too.
dragged. And I'd say in the spoiler review what part I think dragged the most. But even then I just feel like it really dragged. You felt
Yeah,
it.
it did.
Felt taxing.
I mean, it's I'd be fine with it if I was like sitting at home and it was kind of like a casual viewing. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But it just took away from the movie for me.
yeah,
I feel like
and
there's always a certain expectation when you pay money to go watch a movie versus just watching it streaming, just chilling at home.
Yeah.
and for me, my con. This is more of a stylistic choice. I'm sure some people will like it. I just personally didn't like the perspective it was set in with the manager because like throughout the movie he's narrating
And it's like
and
his point of view instead
yeah,
of Elvis.
yeah, but I also feel like towards the end he kind of like disappeared into the background. So it's like if you're gonna go for it, you know. But
That's fair.
Yeah, I would
either
have
way, I
rather
didn't
him
really
not go
care
for
for
it at
it.
all, honestly.
Me neither. But if you're gonna do it, then do it, kind of
I
thing.
feel like Tom Hanks' performance got like compared to I can't even remember the guy who plays Elvis. His name's
Austin
like
Butler.
something Austin
But
Butler.
Yeah,
I feel like his performance was like so like energetic and like spot on that
they should have showed
Tom
him more.
Hanks just was like in the way.
Yeah, so just expect a lot of Tom Hanks. I mean, if you love Tom Hanks, then you love Tom Hanks. But we're just warning you: expect a lot of Tom Hanks.
I
All
love
right.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, I do too. But just this wasn't like he shouldn't have been this. The he shouldn't have tried to be the standout.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have written him that way. Anyways, we're going right into our pros. We'll talk a little bit more positively about this movie. We'll go right back to Edward. Slide it to him.
I really really like the stylistic choice of the way the movie looked. Like I think
Yeah. I
it
do.
it felt like it put us in that time period. I like the way they chose to color the movie like very intentionally because whenever you see like a lot of red and pink filters, that means like someone like made the conscious decision to do that, and I feel like it paid off and made it look good and give really nice feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just like a really just fun, energetic movie, and I feel like that's what really helped alongside the performance that I
I'm gonna
was.
bounce off you because it kind of relates to what you're saying. I gotta applaud the the makeup design team and the costume department because they did a really good job portraying
Mhm.
how he would look and like, making sure Austin Butler felt comfortable. And even Tom Hanks, dude, like I know it's a fat suit, but like it's like it's just getting better by the day. Some like at some points I couldn't tell it was a fat suit.
See, and I liked it, but it felt really distracting seeing Tom Hanks on a fat suit. It was like,
Yeah, because you knew it was a fat suit, but at the same time it looks pretty
yeah,
good.
you're just like that looks so wrong.
Tom Hanks let himself go, bro.
That's why I kind of wish they like, even though it was like a lead role, I wish they would have gotten a smaller, like a lesser known actor to do it because then it would have been less jarring. But you know,
Yeah, I
it is
agree.
what it is. It did
Yeah.
look good.
All right, Anthony.
I liked it. What I was just gonna say is on top of like the makeup and costume and everything, Austin Butler, he killed it. Like he was amazing in that role.
He was like born to play this role, dude.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And it's funny because
It was-
I would read people saying he doesn't look like Elvis. I'm like, what do you mean? I feel like he resembles it pretty like at least good enough.
yeah, I think he does.
I think he got his mannerisms really well. But
Yeah.
I was looking it up because you know how sometimes they'll have the actors like lip sync over the actual songs. He
Yes.
actually sang those songs. Like it was actually him singing.
That's crazy.
Yeah. For the most part, which I really enjoyed because he actually sounded pretty good, and he even got the vocals right,
I think
like
that was like the most
identical
impressive
to
part.
Elvis.
Whenever I found that out, I was like, "Holy shit! This dude like Elvis impersonator of the year."
Yeah,
Dude,
he
And
all
I
the
is.
think
day.
I've seen a lot of people comparing his performance to Rami Malek's Oscar-winning performance in Bohemian Rhapsody.
I don't know if he's gonna. I think he should be in the running, but I'm not sure if he's gonna win it.
I agree. I think this is an Oscar-nominating performance, and if he wins, I'm not gonna complain or say anything bad about it because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he definitely killed it and he would have earned it. But it's gonna be kind of rough this year. Plus, there's still a whole 6 months worth of movies to come out as well. So.
Plus, he did really good with like the movements of Elvis too. Like that's hard to
Yeah.
do. Like imitate and be able to get the choreography down for like the way Elvis moved. And Also, to his credit, I think they only showed maybe one, maybe two actual footage of Elvis to like to
Yeah,
help the movie. But other than that, it was all him. Even when Elvis was older, it was all him, which was
it was
freaking
really really impressive.
nutty.
All
But
right.
that all we got for the non spoiler folks.
Yeah, I
Would y'all
believe
recommend?
so.
I would recommend.
I would recommend as well.
I would highly recommend if you're an Elvis fan, but I would still recommend if you weren't. Like if you want to
See,
go
I'm
out,
not a
maybe
big Elvis fan, and I still enjoyed the movie. So
you'll learn something new about Elvis.
Did you just say you're not an Elvis fan?
I don't listen to rock that like that. No.
There's
And
people that grow up listening to Elvis. There's people that's not. I didn't. I know some of his songs, but I didn't grow up listening to him.
Same.
You know the
I
drift.
know a few songs, but that's about it. So
Exactly. That's okay.
I was
He's
hoping to
still
be introduced into more of his music in this movie, but unfortunately,
alas no. Only the popular
alas,
ones.
it did not prevail.
All right, so if you're leaving us to go watch the movie, then go watch it now, and make sure if you're on YouTube to like and subscribe, and if you're on any podcast platform, make sure you please leave a review
Drop a rating, and
because we really appreciate it,
I think
bad
we
or positive.
wanted to start a new segment at the beginning where we read off you guys' reviews of us at the very
Yes,
beginning. So make sure y'all start reviewing and check out those links in the description for all of our socials and our merch store. On that note,
that's about it. Yep.
we're going to dive right into the spoilers. Woo! This man died. Biggest spoiler of the year. Did not expect that to happen. Did not. I could not see it coming in a million years, bro.
This makes the most sense, but it's like your thing to say, "Oh, someone died," like right away. It's even funnier that he legit, he's dead. That sucks. It just makes sense.
Uh,
All right,
I will say,
Sorry, guys. Was that too soon? I know it just happened like last week, but
I know it just happened like 5 decades ago, but sorry, go ahead, Anthony.
I was just gonna say, like pretty much what I said in the spoiler free is like are still the main things. Like most of my stuff doesn't change even with the spoilers. Like there are a few scenes, but
Yeah, dude, that's fine. We'll still talk about stuff and open discussion. But let me tell you real quick. The one part that took me out of it, bro, like I was like invested and immersed. And I'm not saying I wasn't afterwards, but it took me out for like 5 minutes. Was whenever I think it's like 30 minutes or like 20 minutes into the movie where he's going down to I think it's 4th Street.
Mhm.
It's like where like oh no white man should be down there
yeah.
because it's like all like black culture and everything. But he goes down there and then a Doja Cat song starts playing out of nowhere, and I was just like, huh? Like legit, that's the one
That
Mars
shit.
song that played in the whole movie, and I was
I
just like,
didn't notice
wait,
that.
what? You
No,
didn't? I
they
did.
had a Denzel Curry song play too.
Oh, they did. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me out of it for a sec. I was like, this isn't Elvis. Hold on. But
They're
I just
lucky I
thought it
like
was
Doja
funny,
Cat.
right? It was. Look, it's a good song too, low key.
I
what
agree.
what song was it?
Doja Cat's new song for Elvis. I don't know what it's called.
No.
Like it's a movie like specifically for this movie.
Yeah, it was pretty. Anyways, continue back to our cons. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Another. Well, I really don't have too many other cons. I did just kind of want to address some of the things that it was getting criticized for, even like before the movie came out, where it like they're like, oh, it's just a movie about white man stealing black man culture. But I feel like in the movie they didn't do that. They did a good job of showing like his relationship with other black artists and stuff and
Yeah.
his influence.
And they emphasized it pretty heavy throughout the movie.
Hmm. Like they did have a lot. Like they did their best to kind of show like he did actually do that, but they also didn't include like him doing like some civil rights stuff that he was also involved in. But I feel like they might have just not had time for that.
We're not saying he didn't steal the music. We're just saying the way the movie portrayed it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So take that for what you will.
And then what is it? I had another thing. Oh, I like they didn't really show like too much of his drug abuse, which I get. I guess they wanted to kind of keep it maybe not so like family friendly, but more like a positive spin on him because I don't know. They don't need to do like a shit piece on him, you know.
I was wondering if anybody else noticed that. I didn't say it though because I thought it was crazy. I was like, oh, maybe I wasn't paying attention. I didn't
Yeah,
think they showed that much either. They kind of were just like, oh, here's some morphine, and then throughout they would just like visually show like a needle or something, but
yeah,
like
that
Yeah.
would be it.
they
But
didn't
they
really like
didn't,
explain too much about it.
which I feel like kind of should have been part of it. Like they didn't like how Bohemian Rhapsody didn't mind doing like a whole AIDS thing
Freddie Mercury.
for Freddie Mercury, but this one they were scared to touch on the drug abuse, even though it's very popular that that's how he died.
It's a big part of
Uh,
his life, his
yeah.
late life.
Um, and the thing was, they didn't really show like whenever he first met his wife that his wife was only 14, and they didn't
Yes,
really touch on that either.
dude. I didn't even know. Like I said, I didn't even know that about Elvis until I was talking to my coworker, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, she was 14," and I was like, "Dude, that's crazy."
That's so crazy. Jeez.
Yeah, so I feel like they just kind of. I'm not saying that like all biopics don't do this. Like they definitely like tiptoe around some of the shadier things to make the main character look a little better. I
Right.
just
For
kind
their
of wanted
movie.
to confirm and shut down any kind of like prejudgmental rumors about the movie. So
Nobody wants an unlikable main
yeah, I
character.
just kind of want to clear it up for a few people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Um.
I wouldn't say those were like I don't think any of those are cons though.
No, I said I didn't really have too many cons, so I just kind of wanted to
Clear it up.
clear up other people's cons that I
I
saw.
want. I
Just tell
wanted.
them they're wrong.
I wanted to clear up where I said earlier how the part where I thought it dragged. I thought it really dragged, and I thought this part was a little unnecessary. Was the whole bit about him doing like a Christmas special on the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that part could have been cut out
I think
completely.
they could use that time to like go into detail about some like other things.
Yeah, which also
Just
Anthony, they could have used that. They could have cut that out, and then I was going to say I feel like the ending was rushed. They just did time jumps, and they could have fleshed
mhm,
that out a bit more. Because
yeah.
if you're gonna have a long movie from beginning to end, finish out the end, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yeah.
Like properly. Like don't just like say what it
All
said.
right,
It's like
that's it.
one year
Yeah.
later. It was like
Or
oh
And he
he
yeah,
left his
like,
wife 1 year later. Oh he died. Like what? Okay.
they're like 1 year later, and it just cuts to him on the toilet.
Croaking.
There
But
was not one single peanut butter and banana sandwich in the movie, and that upset me. Sorry.
oh
I didn't
shit.
even think about that, bro. They should have done that too.
I only say that because I love peanut butter and banana sandwiches. But I got my addiction from Blue's Clues, and then I later in life realized that Elvis also did it, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
Fun
Now I
fact:
can.
I have never tried one.
What the fuck, bro?
Crunchy or creamy?
You're next time you're coming over, I'm making peanut butter and banana sandwiches for everyone.
I
No.
said crunchy or creamy.
Whipped.
What?
Whipped. Whipped peanut butter, bro. You've never had whipped peanut butter?
No.
It like makes it feel like a whipped cream. Like it's like super light and fluffy. It doesn't get all stuck to the roof of your mouth like regular peanut butter does. All right. Anyways, Anthony,
What's up?
He said
final
nothing. He
thoughts.
said he had
No,
nothing.
nothing.
Final thoughts? Like
Yeah.
are we ending it? Or just cons?
Or do you have pros? Just anything really? No.
Yeah. I feel like we said most of it. I mean, it's a biopic, so we can't really spoil anything. Like, oh, spoiler alert, this fucker dies. So,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys.
It's
You,
hard
it's been 5 decades. You should have seen it.
it's hard to kind of like rate a movie like this because I have certain things that I was like expecting from the movie, like certain things that I wanted, but because I knew Elvis, but say it was someone I never, or say I knew absolutely nothing about Elvis, then I probably would have thought this movie was like perfect. You know what I mean? But the fact that we do know the person, that it's like, oh, we're missing this, we're missing this. So it's like hard to rate some of it.
Yeah, that's the thing about biopics that makes it hard is like you already know this person's life. You just want to
Right.
see how the director and writers are going to portray it.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like the lead performance was a solid 10, but the movie was not so solid. You know,
I feel that. I feel that.
What would y'all rate it?
I don't have
I
anything
because
else to say.
I guess I could just say is for the most part the key aspects of his life were portrayed pretty solid. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that intro, the intro concert he had performance, that was pretty cool.
That
Yeah.
was cool.
Like, it was a perfect introduction to like Elvis Presley as a person.
He had all the mamas. Mama, 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 mama.
All the women. But I'm ready for ratings if y'all are ready for ratings.
I am ready. I think go last because Mino thought this
Me,
far ahead.
me no thought think. Anthony, you good?
I'm good.
All right, what's your rating?
I want to go last because I want to know what
Edward's
y'all.
going last.
Okay. I'll go second.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I was gonna give it a 7.5.
I was
Not that
debating,
low.
but I think I'm
I
gonna
was
stick with a
between
7.
I was between a 7.5 and a 7. So that
Yeah.
really didn't help. I was hoping one of you guys would clear it up for me, but y'all motherfuckers with my 2 brain cells split in half.
I think it
Oh,
was good. I just think it could have done a lot more, especially for the runtime.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 7 strictly because they didn't have as much music as I
Ooh,
wanted.
that too, yeah.
I think that's what really lowered it down for me. Is like, how are you gonna have a biopic about a famous singer but only have 2 of their songs when like they have like at least like 50 songs that like were number one at one point.
Plus, I feel like if you really do like Elvis, like you like really know a lot about his life, you might not like it as much as us, depending
yeah,
on like how
that's
critical
true. I
you are
would
of it.
agree.
But for like for educational purposes, I think it does get the key aspects of his life like pretty much correct, and I feel like it's a good watch for anyone like casually doesn't really care about Elvis too much, but wants to learn more about him.
Yep. And before we sign off, just as we said before, make sure you drop a rating. We don't care if it's good or bad. We just would love some feedback. Make sure to like, subscribe on YouTube. Comment if you thought our opinions were trash. Comment if you thought our opinions were brilliant. And make sure you check those links in the description for our social media to be updated on anything that we may have going on special outside of our usual scheduled program, which has been out of schedule because I've been a little bit of a bitch lately. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, and just check out our merch shop. It really helps support us. You know, we made everything as cheap as possible, so we only make like 50 cents something. So I just want y'all to rep some cool shit that we made.
We love that.
On that note, say hi to your moms for us.